Lisa LaBelle, everyone!
Hello, world. What is happening, buttercups? Welcome to the L4 podcast. I am Lisa LaBelle, and you know what's happening? You know what's going on out there. 3 different particles can be in 3 different places at the same time without being anywhere at all. That's what's going on. That is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. That is wild. Holy smokes. Meanwhile, the HOA rules came out this week. Did you see those? You see those sassy little HOA pool rules? That's what I'm talking about. The HOA pool rules came out this week. Good God. That's what, yeah. So we got these entangled particles being in 3 different places at the same time without being anywhere at all. And then you got the HOA pool rules coming out at the same time. What? You know what those pool rules are saying? Don't puke in the pool. And then you got Tommy over there. Tommy's he's a little chunk. You got Tommy Chunk over there, and he's down in that family size bag of Doritos. Just down in those Bichons and doing a cannonball in that pool. And Chunk Tommy, he gonna blow some chunks in that pool. That's what's gonna go on. God. Children under 3 must wear swim diapers. Last time I checked, those swim diapers are not hermetically sealed. I say hermetically sealed. However you want to say it, that's how I say it. They're not sealed up. It's not like a space capsule going to space. That's what those swim diapers need to be, completely sealed up. Good God, that's what's going on. What else is going on? We got the dude was passing me in a truck this week. That's what was going on. I was on a road. You got 2-lane road. So if someone's in front of you going super slow, super slow, there's nothing you can do about it. Until you get up into a lane, you see a passing, you go into a lane and then you see a lane that you can get to make a left in. And so I use that as a passing lane. And some dude pulled up to me at the red light afterwards, and he rolled his window down. And he did this. He took his finger and he went, no, not good. You can't do that. All right, dude. What the Judgy McJudgerson? He wasn't the one who had to be behind that really slow dude who was probably, I don't know what that dude was doing. He was on a different universe. He was on a different world. And I can't be behind that when I'm trying to get places. I wanted to take this dude who's going like this in the red truck. I wanted to take his finger and just break it off and shove it down his throat. God. Good God. I was giving him the side eye. I said nothing to him. I just gave him the side eye because he was all amped up. And you never know these days what people, maybe they have nothing to lose. So I do not engage. I ignore and get on down the road. That's what I do. Good God. Good God. You know what that is? That's typical bot behavior. That's what that is. That's the NPC, non-player character. That's what that is. People just going around in the world being bots and cogs, and they're just in their own head. They're not thinking, or they're just walking around, putting the bananas. They got a bunch of bananas. And then they're like, I don't want this anymore. And they put it on the granola shelf, like typical bot behavior. Good God. That's what's going on. What else is going on? You know what? If the sun just disappeared on us, if the aliens decided to take our sun away, We wouldn't even know for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. We'd just be over here blissfully doing whatever we're doing. I'd be doing this podcast. You'd be listening to me. And then we'd be like, yeah, learn about this, learn about that, laugh about this. And then for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And then the sun goes away and then we're like, uh-oh, we have no sun now. That's how that would be. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. What else is going on, guys? Trump released the UFO files last Friday. Those got released because he was in the Oval Office, Trump, talking about releasing the files. I think that was April 28th or 29th, and he had the Artemis 2 crew behind him. And one of the reporters was like, when you going to release the files? This seems like appropriate time to ask this. And he's like, very, very soon. I haven't done it yet. I may do it. If this doesn't work out, I probably will do it. I would almost say definitely. I talked to the Tic Tac pilot. Very respectable man. He saw the Tic Tac objects going in and out of the ocean. Those aliens, they be coming up. If they be coming up on the land, they be smelling like swamp fart. That's what I'm saying. Those things be stinky. Good God, they be smelling like corpse breath. But yeah, so some of the UFO files have got released. The first tranche got released. And I don't know if you guys checked this out or saw this, but one of the pictures was of the Apollo mission on the moon and Apollo mission imagery. So you got Buzz Aldrin and you got Neil Armstrong. Almost said Louis Armstrong. That's the singer. You got Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. And there's a picture of the sky on the moon, space on the moon. And there's like 3 glowing dots oh my God. So you got Buzz and Neil, and they're like, I think those are UFOs. We got to go tell everybody about it. And then they got back, and the government's like, don't tell anybody about it. And they're like, okay. Good Lord. All I can say though, if those aliens are real, they probably will be smelling like swamp fart. And the only reason I'm saying this is because we haven't been able to detect oxygen in the universe. And that's not everything. We don't know everything. And just because we haven't been able to detect it doesn't mean there isn't any, but there's this school of thought that MIT thinks, and there's this MIT research was done in 2019, I believe. Okay, we're back. Little technical issues, but we back. So what I was saying is MIT was saying they're thinking that aliens might be anaerobic life. And if that's the case, what we know about anaerobic life on Earth is it lives in swamps, which is oxygen deprived. You got a swamp and the water's not moving to create oxygen bubbles, just kind of sitting there. So, and then also there's anaerobic organisms in the bottom, badger bowels, yummy. And you would just imagine swamps stink. You ever been near a swamp? They freaking stink. That's because this anaerobic life, when it lets off gas, basically when it poops or whatever, it lets off this phosphine gas. So, and phosphine gas is very toxic to oxygen breathing creatures to smell in. So basically, anaerobic microbes on Earth in low oxygen environments, let's see, like swamps, guts, sediments. It's smelly and toxic to oxygen breathers, perfectly usable. Let's see here. Because the organisms don't use oxygen to break down food, they use other elements like sulfur or phosphorus, leading to some very distinct and gross outcomes. So phosphine gas, this is a major biosignature. It is produced by anaerobic bacteria in extreme environments like sewage, marshlands, and digestive tracts of some animals like a badger bowl. To oxygen breathers, stopping it's okay. This is wild. Phosphine is brutal. It's usually It's used industrially as a fumigant to kill pests because it interferes with mitochondrial function, essentially stopping cells from using energy. Did you guys catch that? So it inhibits mitochondrial functions, essentially stopping cells from using energy. And we go and we fumigate outside with that? Sure. Oh, sure. It will kill these insects, but it's not toxic to us. No, because it's in the air. It blow away. It'll be fine. Good God. You think a peptide's gonna fix that? I don't do. Well, definitely not the peptides from China. Come on, man. What is going on? I don't know. I mean, God, that's the first time you heard me say something not for a peptide, guys. It's because I'm seeing all these functional medicine clinics popping up, and you ask where you get your peptides. They don't even know. I'm like, okay, from China then? Like, what are you putting in your body? There's some clinics that are legit, like Ways to Wells is pretty legit from what I understand. And if I were to go somewhere, I'd go there. But anything else, man, if you they can't tell you the origin of their peptide, just buyer beware. That's all I'm saying. And back to mitochondrial function and the phosphorus. I mean, how is this approved? What chemical companies get kickbacks on this? I think we all know. We all know about that. That's that Agent or that glyphosate. Probably the same company that did the Agent Orange thing. Good God. Whoa, that's heavy. All right, let's move on. Let's move forward. Let's get on down the road. So what I'm saying is with this phosphine, these aliens, they might smell. That's all I'm saying, and they'll be toxic. So I know you're going to want to be all friendly when the alien comes up to you and it wants to introduce itself. Just don't shake its hand. Maybe go get a gas mask and a hazmat suit and take it to Chick-fil-A. Get it a sandwich. It would probably really like that, and that's your gesture of good faith that you want to be friendly, but you don't want to die. That's all. They might have some dual system amphibious, and like they can live in oxygen and anaerobic environments, and also amphibious environment. Like they might have some triple system going on that we obviously don't have. So. Yeah, that is why. Another thing I learned from going down this path of why aliens might smell is so swamps apparently some swamp, there's something called the ghost lights. And in any swamp, layers of dead leaves, wood, and organic matter sink to the bottom because the water is still, it becomes anoxic, that's oxygen depleted. This creates a perfect playground for the anaerobic bacteria. So the bacteria eat the rotting vegetation at the bottom of the muck as they digest the phosphorus and carbon in the plants. They produce a mixture of methane, phosphine, and diphosphine. These gases collect into large bubbles trapped under the mud or heavy vegetation. When the mud is disrupted by a shift in the water levels or even a person walking nearby, the bubbles rise to the surface and pop. So the second that the bubble hits the air, the diphosphine reacts with the oxygen and catches fire. What? It creates a dim, cool, burning glow that looks like a flickering candle or a floating orb. Holy smokes, people back in like the 1700s probably thought they were seeing aliens. Or they were like, what? They thought they were freaking losing it. Like, what is on the swamp? Who is out there with those orbs? They were freaking thinking they're losing their freaking mind, man. That is wild. I've never seen this. I'm thinking it happened. I'm thinking people have seen it in the South, like Louisiana, maybe where there's a little more swampland, obviously. But I didn't grow up near swampland. I grew up in near Philadelphia, over there in Pennsylvania, actually near New Jersey and New York, a little more than Philly. But up there, there's no real swamps up there. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So I've never heard of this. I've never seen it because, let's see, diphosphine is a gas. It drifts with the slightest breeze, which is why historical witnesses claimed the spirits would flee or chase them away when they tried to get close. So people tried to go check it out. That is wild. I mean, let's go check that out. Yeah, I see that orb. Some man in the 1800s was like, let me go check that out. Yeah, let's go see. I'm going to go fight that orb. Maybe I got special powers. That is wild. Maybe I'll go over there and you tell me how to invest in the stock market. That orb. Give me some insider information. That blue glowing orb on the swamp. Wow. Guys, I am wearing this bracelet here in tribute for my friend C, my bestie from improv, and shout out C. She gave me a beautiful note the other day, and she said the best part about improv is getting to know me as a friend, and I mutually feel that way. See, you're amazing. She's one of the most amazing mothers I know. She has a daughter, and her daughter made us all these little bracelets. She made the improv group these bracelets, and it's adorable. So I'm wearing this today for little M. And little M is the most adorable, but like she is spitting like just a little mini me of her mom. So I'm wearing this. Here you go, little M. Thanks for the bracelet, and it's my little good luck charm today. So, okay, moving on. Tribute to, I've been watching a lot of Stephen Wright, and he is so funny. He's freaking hilarious. His old stuff. And he said, let's see, I'm a peripheral visionary. I can see into the future, but only to the side. Okay, I know that's cheesy. I just love it. It's hilarious. All right, moving on. Oh, yeah, Carl Sagan. We're talking about the shorter wavelengths is what makes blue light blue. Carl Sagan. He was a really great, he attributed to humanity so wonderfully, and I think it was known that he did psychedelics, and he was just like, his mind was so open to things, and such a smart person. And he also was able to convince NASA to make the golden records, and that just blows my mind to this day. Now, I don't think it was too much the production. Let's see, the production cost of the golden records. Now, by the way, the golden records were records that had Earth's coordinates on it, and it had President Carter on there talking to basically the aliens. So what it is it's the golden records is for another civilization. We sent it out in deep space on Voyager 1 and 2, which went 1977. Those Bichons, those Voyagers, they went pew, pew, pew up into space. They were shot up into space, and they're now over there in deep space with the golden records. And at least one of them is, I think Voyager 2 or 1 is still able to give Earth signals. We're still getting signals from it. So if an alien civilization does find it, they're going to see these golden records. And the hope is that maybe they can figure out how to see what's going on. Like, hey, there's another civilization now. Are they going to be able to get to us? I don't know. It seems like it. Seems like they're here. Aliens are in the ocean. That's what it seems like. Seems like they already got the golden records. So, but somehow Carl Sagan went to NASA and was like, all right, the shorter wavelengths is what makes blue light blue. We have these records that we want to make in case alien civilization finds us. We want to let them know where we are. It's like, oh yeah, sure. How much is it going to be? $95,000. That's in today's money. Oh yeah, no problem. Sure, let's get that government budget, and let's go ahead and start making these things. He had to be one of the best salesmen ever on Earth. All right, moving on, guys. I think one thing I want to encourage you, everyone, to embrace your humanity, because as we are going into this AI era, it is becoming very clear who is being human being human and genuine is becoming very valued, especially at a job, because AI is going to be able to do a lot of things, but they're not going to be able to be persistent. They're not going to be able to maybe make a sale creatively. When you, being a salesperson, you have to think outside of the box, especially on super big sales, $1 billion sales. You have to be able to think outside the box and connect things together and really be the human to human aspect of it. I mean, it's not like the movies where you just go in and you're just like, yeah, you need this. And the other guy's like, yeah, let's spend $1 billion on it. Yay. Like, okay. Not like that, guys. Not like that at all. But in order to be a good, salesman, you have to be persistent. You have to be a very good communicator. You have to be democratic in the way that you go about things. You can't be pushy, but you kind of have to be showing these people that, hey, I think you really, really need this. So these are all attributes. These are all human attributes is what I'm saying. So embrace your genuinity, embrace kindness, embrace love, embrace connection. And because it's becoming very clear that these attributes are becoming valued and valuable, because here's the thing. Historically, it's like this dude needs to have some sort of background in the thing that we're hiring for. Say like software. I'm not talking about like doctor thing or engineering or those things you have to go get your hands on, but like software stuff, like AI can teach you anything now. Basically, you can learn anything from AI, so you don't have to be an expert in it. You can go learn it, but you have to show that you are willing to go in head first and you are willing to go deep dive and learn everything you need to know about this thing. So that's all I'm saying. And try to make your own decisions. Don't let the algorithm decide the way how you perceive the world and what you're thinking about that day. Don't do it. Elon Musk said we must learn to be human before systems learn to be gods. And that's the truth. So that's what's going on. Holy smokes. I'm excited for AI. I think it's going to be really good for people. But if the government starts putting regulations on it, we're completely screwed. So it's not going to be able to help people. That's all I'm saying. So this is interesting. Elon Musk is saying there's probably not going to be any more apps in the coming year, or and maybe within like 10 years from now. Here we go. Let's see.
5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video. So if there's no apps, what will people use? Like, will X still exist? Will they be email platforms, or will you get everything through AI?
You'll get everything through AI.
Everything through AI. What will be the benefit of that, as opposed to having individual apps?
Whatever you can think of, or really whatever the AI can anticipate you might want, it'll show you. That's my prediction for where things end up.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that.
So 5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video,
Pretty much.
and everything's run.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. I think my little GoPro just keeps getting overheated and it keeps going blank on me. So thanks for bearing with me here. And I'm not sure where it cut off at, but I was showing a clip of Elon talking about how apps are going to be gone within the next 5 to 6 years, and basically how everything is going to eventually be AI generated. Like everything we consume is going to be AI generated. And so the reason why I brought that up is because I have a friend who has a small business, a shout out Jamie. And she asked me, she's building her business out, and it's interesting the processes that she's going through. And she asked me about building an app. Like, do you think I should get an app? And I'm not, I'm not a small business owner. I'm no consultant, but if I had a business, I would not build an app, because I do think that everything will be, I think all the apps will go away. And I was talking about this with my husband, how that, like what that might look like and how everything will be done through AI. So take, for example, Grok or Gemini, right? We'll say Gemini. So say you have Gemini, and it basically will probably it's going to have access to all of your, for example, what app do you use? Some people use apps to shop, like a Nike app, to go shopping. So it has your password and everything in there, and you tell it what to select, or you selected things in your bag or whatever, and online, or say, hey, I want to pick this, this, and this. It does it for you, and then it checks you out. It does everything. It has access to your Apple Pay or your credit card. And, so scheduling an appointment, you have to go into an app to schedule your appointment with a doctor. Well, it's going to have access to your credentials, your login credentials, and it can just go in and schedule an appointment, or it can read you a message from your doctor. I mean, you're going to just be able to just do everything through AI. But the only way I see that happening is if it has access to all of your information. And I don't think people are just going to willingly just hand that over and give it access to everything. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of Clawpod or good Lord, but the name of this thing changed 3 times. But so anyway, a open source AI AI agent, you're not going to give it access to everything because of cybersecurity reasons, right? But if Apple came out and said, hey, we're partnering with Gemini, and part of the new agreement is giving Gemini access to everything in your phone. I think a lot of people would be willing to do that. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. We give Apple access to everything else, our credit cards, our everything. Anyway, our passwords. So go ahead. What's this one more thing? And you're saying that I don't have to go to apps anymore. I don't have to use all this stupid storage on my phone for freaking apps. God, everyone's going to love that. So I think people will just kind of flock to that. And there's a lot of people out there, especially the younger generation, who understands that security is really there's not a lot of not security, but privacy anymore. So if you're handing information over to make your life better, I know this sounds ridiculous, but we do it with our phone. Do you even know what you're agreeing to on your terms and conditions on your phone? No, I don't think so. And if you don't agree to it, now you don't have a phone. Now you don't have a second brain. You're not able to do anything in the world. So, but if you're saying I can give all of this access to Gemini because of this new update on my iPhone, and Gemini is going to be able to do everything, and I just go to Gemini for everything. I don't have to go to all these apps. Yeah, I think we're all going to be up for that. So that'll be really interesting, and I could see that happening tomorrow. Honestly, it's just about incorporating it on their end. They need to just figure all that out. Once they figure all that out, then we'll be doing it. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Now, moving on, we have a wild update. I was gonna do this podcast at the end of last week, but I'm glad I waited because Figure came out with a freaking mind-blowing update. Just wild. So this is what we're going to do. We'll be putting our Hans device on for this. Because when I show this video to you guys, this video of Figure, your head might snap off your neck. All right, here we go. Let's put this on without getting it Velcroed to my hair. Are you ready? Here we go. Figure is teaching another figure. Holy smokes, I'm going to pull this up. Hold on to your kazoos. Here we go, folks. Holy smokes. Figure taught 2 robots to make a bed together, fully autonomous, Honestly, they are better at it than most humans. Yes, because they're very precise and they're very focused, and they don't need caffeine to stay awake in the brain. They're not made of squishy stuff. We got a figure walking in. He knows what to do. He's putting the chair in. The other figure is just picking things up off the bed and tidying up. Now, I know everyone's going to look at that and be like, that's not really cleaning a room. This is the beginning, folks. This is Brett Adcock's progress at figure is lightning. It's not lightning speed. It's past lightning speed. We are past lightning speed, and we are into the speed of light. That's what's going. He's pulling. He is showing us updates so often. It is absolutely mind blowing. So the next update of figure is going to be even more mind blowing than this. That's what's happening. He's showing updates that are even more mind-blowing than the last one. Holy smokes. So we got figures that are sort of communicating together about putting a comforter on a bed. And they're going to go and they're going to make the comforter pretty and tidy it up all nice. And that's just it. Oh, the one figure is like, all right, are you ready? Are you ready to pull your end? Because I got my end. Are you ready to pull your end? That's what just happened right there. And now they're they're making, oh, wow. Oh my gosh, they're doing the pillow thing where you put the comforter under the pillows on the top. Oh, the one robot, the master robot's like, you didn't do it right. Do it over. Wow, we got a masteress. I'm calling him the master robot. And my first thought was, how does the robot that is learning, how does it know that there's a master robot in there that knows more than it? And how does he know that it's doing it wrong, that it's putting the sheet down? Like, how does it know if it's putting the sheet down wrong to stop and to look over at the master robot to see how to do it right, to take direction from him? So that's what we're going to go over today, because it's just really wild about all this. Before I do that, I want to show you this video. Here we go. Brett is explaining all of the, like, what they're doing with figure at the headquarters. And we've seen, I'm going to play this video, but we've seen some of the things, like he's going to demonstrate push recovery again. Vulcan that we talked about last week, where it gave figure some robot paralysis. That Vulcan, but if 3 actuators in his lower body stops working, actuator, we're talking about essentially a joint, guys. So if it's not like its hip stops working, or his knee and his ankle or something, it can still move. It can move over to the repair station on its own. And okay, so it doesn't have to just stop. It can go ahead and keep going. All right, and that's what Vulcan does. So let's see here. This was a interview that Brett Adcock did recently. First proper look inside the BotQ HQ headquarters. Full stack from BotQ. BotQ is the Helix headquarters to real world deployment with figure 3. All right. Is Brett Adcock's own humanoid stack. Here we go.
Welcome to Figure. We make humanoid robots here. We design them, we build them, we test them, all here. This is the secret room that nobody's allowed to come in. I'm going to show you every robot we've ever built. So here we lost like a left knee, and you can see
that's
the
Vulcan.
robot's kind of like hobbling.
Robot paralysis.
So we have a robot doing burpees here.
Robot doing burpees.
This is where we manufacture figure 3 robots.
Wow.
And this was the first car in the world built by a humanoid robot that we're aware of. We have a robot
BMW,
here that is designed to tidy the house. These robots are running purely autonomously from
that's the towel swoop. Remember that, guys? The towel swoop.
Give it a push.
Oh, gosh.
Push recovery.
Okay. I feel bad.
Sean Ryan demonstrated this. That's cool. Okay, that's it. So I thought it was cool that there were things demonstrated in this that we have been seeing Brett putting videos out of, like the push recovery and Vulcan. So yeah, Brett Adcock, if you happen to be hearing this or listening to this, I would love an opportunity to come to Figure HQ and do an interview with you around everything that's going on. It's so mind blowing. And my whole goal is to shed a positive light on AI and robotics and how it's going to help humanity. And I see this helping a lot of people, a lot of things, but particularly I have a soft spot for old people, and I think this could really help old people be independent in their own homes as they grow older. It can help them in nursing homes, and I really see a fantastic, beautiful future for Figure in those sorts of environments. Okay, so here we go. Back to the tidying up. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. There's another post here. I don't think people are grasping how difficult this is. This is a Figure tidying up. He's learning from the other robot how to tidy up a room. I don't think people are grasping how difficult this is. A bedsheet is effectively infinite state. The level of general dexterity needed to reliably manipulate deformable objects is extremely hard to solve. Also loved the intent readiness, head nod to confirm. Yes, guys, I loved that. When they were grabbing the comforter at the end of the bed, they both kind of looked at each other, and the one dude nodded his head like, I'm ready. And the other dude's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's make this freaking bed. Let's go. I love the collaborative effort, and it's just amazing. I just really love seeing them work. It'd be incredible to see them in person. So here we go. Let's see. My first question was, how does it know? How does the learning robot know, like to look at the master robot for direction? Okay. How does it actually happen? How does the student robot know it is doing something wrong without a human programmer telling it to do so? Behavioral inference. It's reaching the room, folks. The robots aren't actually talking to each other over Wi-Fi. They're not communicating that way. Instead, the learning robot uses computer vision, the ability for AI to see and identify objects, to watch the master. It uses inference. It's using logic to fill in the blanks to realize if he is pulling that side of the sheet, my job is to pull this side of the sheet. That's what we were seeing with the comforter and the head nod. The ideal state match. Because the robot was trained on thousands of hours of motion capture data, recordings of real humans performing tasks, it has an internal picture of what a made bed looks like. When it looks at the bed and sees a wrinkle, its neural net recognizes a mismatch. It doesn't need code to tell it to stop. The math in its brain simply hasn't reached the task complete goal yet. And then we have something called proprioception and tactile feedback, a sense of touch. So the Figure 3 has sensors in its fingertips that can feel as little as 3 grams, the weight of a paperclip, in its fingers, guys. That's what I'm talking about. I talked about its hands before. Figure showcased its hand a few months ago with these tactile sensors in it. This is called proprioception, the robot's internal sense of where its limbs are in space. If it feels the sheet snag or slip, System 1 reacts instantly to tighten its grip, just like your hand would adjust without you thinking about it. That is wild, guy. Holy smokes. Okay, so I'm just speechless. I've read over this before because I prepared for this, but when I'm reading it again, I am just ever speechless about this whole process. It's so cool. Okay, so the part of how it knows to look for the teacher, this is the part that how does it know it's failing and to look to the teacher? State estimation, the how am I doing check. The robot is constantly running its vision language action model. Not all robots are vision language action model, guys. But Figure definitely is. It has a mental image of a made bed. If its cameras see a live image that doesn't match the mental image, it experiences prediction error. the difference between what it expects to see and what it actually sees. Now, this is wild to hear this next part. Social behavioral inference. Social behavioral inference. This is wild. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Hold on to your kazoos. In the newest Helix 2 model, the robot is programmed with social cues. If its prediction error stays high, meaning it can't figure out how to fix the sheet, its policy tells it to scan the environment for a reference, another robot or a human. When it sees the other robot successfully performing a state change, making progress on the bed, it latches onto that visual data to update its own plan. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, guy? Did you hear it? Helix 2, which is what the Figure 3 robot is running off of. It's the Figure 3 robot's brain. Helix 2, that 3 system architecture, system 0, system 1, 0, 2. It has a social behavioral inference built into it that basically it's programmed with social cues like a human being. So if there's a prediction error, if it's making a bed, the robot, the student is making a bed, is making it wrong. It's like, oh crap, I'm making it wrong. I know this because I've been fed 1,000 pictures of how a bed should be made, and this doesn't look right. And then it looks up and takes its little head, takes its little cute head, and it looks up. It's like, where's our human or a rock? I see a humanoid over there. That's my master. What's he doing? It doesn't actually say that, but it's probably going to learn to be like, that's Master Robot. He knows a lot of things. And then that's how this robot is learning. And then he latches onto the visual data that the Master Robot is making the bed properly. And then the student latches onto that visual data and then makes the bed properly on its side. That's how human beings work. That is blow out your butt, man. Holy smokes. This is wild. This is exciting. This is so exciting. Woo! Okay, so let's move on. Let's keep going. Let's keep getting on down the road. The reason, so I was just going to actually say this. No one else is doing this that I know of. No one else is on the socials or showing videos of doing this. If I were to guess, if anyone was doing it behind the scenes, it'd be Tesla with Optimus. But we're not seeing any videos coming out of this. Brett is putting all the videos out. So the reason that no one else is showing this is because it's computationally expensive, that vision language action model, the 3 system architecture, system 0, system 1, system 2. It's a neural net that Brett built out called Helix 2. And the neural net is the brain of Figure. That's what Figure 3 is running off of. So it's computationally expensive and physically dangerous. If the system 0 fails for even a millisecond, a 150 robot becomes a falling wrecking ball. Brett is betting the entire company on the idea that code is dead end. He deleted the lines of code, and that end-to-end neural networks, it's pixels in, actions out, is the way to reach true scale. So isn't that holy smokes, guys? And Brett, he deleted 109,504 lines of code that was manually written in C++ instructions and replaced them with the 3 system layer architecture that works at different speeds. So it's not like that he just one day was like, let me just delete all these lines of code and we'll move on and we'll build this neural network and it's going to be easy peasy. He was saying that I think it was like $100 per line of code. So 100 times 109,504. You do the math. Go ahead, you do the math. I mean, that was a decision. That was a strategic decision. And holy smokes, that is wild. Guys, I want to make sure my systems are working here. All right, camera's good. Come on, camera, I'm giving you some love. Don't overheat on me. Come on, let's not crash out live. Come on. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Okay, so let's see. Moving on here. So how does Figure learn with no code, right? You're like, what? Okay, you deleted lines of code. You have a neural net. I still don't really understand. I thought things were like coded. So instead of a programmer typing, if the floor is uneven, lift your foot 3 inches, Figure uses a neural network. It's a computer system modeled after the human brain. Instead of being programmed, it's trained. Figure feeds the network thousands of hours of human retargeted data. That's videos of humans moving, which are then mapped onto the robot skeleton. Yes, the Skeletor. So let's see. It has 0-shot generalization, and that basically means, guys, I've talked about 0-shot before. It's doing a task that isn't specifically told. It wasn't specifically told how to do. So, and the reason what it's doing is it's going back into its knowledge bank with all the parameters. I'll talk about parameters in a minute here, guys, but it's like dials, right? So it's going into its memory bank, and it's like, all right, I came across this situation. Here's a Hans device. I got to pick it up. I've never picked a Hans device up before. What do I do? Now it's like, well, I've picked like a mug up. I've picked things up off the floor and off the table before. So let's see. I think I could figure this out. And then that's a 0-shot. That's 0-shotting something, kind of going back into your memory bank and connecting the dots and being like, I think I could figure it out from all these other things I did because it seems similar. And that's another thing human beings do. Holy smokes. I mean, it's happening, guys. My dream as a child with humanoids walking amongst us, like with brains like human beings, is happening. It's amazing. And that's why I gave a little grinny grin when I said that's another thing. 0-shotting is another thing that human beings do. Babies do it all the time. So, and that's what we do. Adults do it. All right, let's get on down the road here. I have a system. I got this system. See these tabs? I got this system on my research. Here we go. I want to, before we move on to the 3-system architecture, I want to talk about a policy because these architectures have policies built into them. And so in the old world of robotics, code was used, so step-by-step math instructions. In the new world, policies are used. So the new world, the neural nets. A policy is a strategy. Think of a policy not as code, but as a mathematical map. It's a neural network that has seen so many examples of a task that it knows the rule of thumb for what to do next. It doesn't follow a recipe. It follows a feeling based on probability. So I got that. Let's see. There's a few policies I want to talk about here. And we're going to go into, I think, the 3-system architecture. Yes, we are. We're going to start with system 0. It's the instinct. That's the, I think it's like the quick think, the reflexes, basically. Or no, it's more the instinct. I'm sorry. Bear with me. It's more of the instinct. System 0 is the instinct. System 1 is more of the reflexes. System 2 is like the thinker. It's the slower brain. So system 0 is the instinct. A 10 million parameter motion prior. This is the safest layer running at 1,000 hertz. It handles balance and proprioception, the internal sense of where its limbs are. Remember the haptics on the fingertips and how much pressure to apply when picking something up like an egg. Versus a kettlebell, right? It ensures the robot stays upright even if it's walking over uneven pallets. We've seen the precarious pallet walk of a Figure. He was walking over those Bichons, those pallets blind, holding his gait up. So this system 0 is keeping it upright, walking over those precarious pallets. And if a human pushes it, that's that push recovery that we were seeing. It instinctively knows how to keep its center of gravity. So it's system 0 has the gate policy. System 0 keeps Figure having that slap gate. Figure got a slap gate. Let's get our limber up, man. You got to get your limber up. Figure, it's got his limber up with system 1. That's what's going on. It's got that L4, L5, C6, C7. It keeps them in line so it don't fall over. And that 1000 hertz is, just to clarify, bear with me. Oh gosh, you just heard all those papers. If it reacts slower than 1,000 times a second, gravity wins and the robot falls. So you got to have it running at 1,000 hertz so that Figure don't fall over, so that Figure don't get rigor mortis. That's what I'm saying. All right. So that system 0 is the instinct, keeping. It's got that gate policy in it. And now we got system 1, and system 1 has a visio-motor policy. A policy, the strategy or rule of thumb, right? And we just talked about that, learn through experience. So the visio-motor policy is basically, bear with me. Let's see here. It's seeing. Let's see, it turns seeing directly into movement. That's what a visio-motor policy is. So the bridge runs at 200 hertz, 200 times per second. It takes the high-level goal and turns it into action chunking. So a smooth 1-second chunks of movement that make the robot look fluid rather than jerky. It's not a line of code. It's mathematical mapping of, I see this pixel arrangement. I've moved my arm this many milliseconds. This visio-motor policy. So that's the one where it knows how much pressure to apply to something like picking up a pillow. And action chonking, just to refresh your memory, because you know how much I love real-time action chonking. Yes. All right. Here we go, action chonking. It's a fluid motion. Humans don't think about every individual muscle twitch. When we reach for a coffee cup, we think in chunks. Reach, grab, lift. Action chonking. Real-time action chonking. It's when the AI predicts a chunk of 50 to 100 movements at once, usually covering about 1 second of real time. Instead of asking the brain, what do I do now? Every millisecond, it says, here is the next 1 second of smooth movement. This is why Figure 3 looks so fluid and not stuttery like older robots. That's right, because Figure got that real-time action chonking. You know what? Human being got that chunky in their life. It just depends if you slow. If you're being slow, then you need a little more real-time action chonking in your life. Go get some chonky. Do it, the truffle shuffle. Y'all know what that's from. Chonk. Okay, so Figure moves fluid because of this real-time action chunking. Instead of floundering around or stuttering around, really, it saunters. Figure goes and it saunters over. Figure does not look like a commoner pouring tea. Figure is over there, and a Figure is very sophisticated in its movements. It has that slap. Figure is limbering up. Buttercup, that's what I'm saying. All right, so now we're on to system 2. That's the high-level reasoning, the slow brain with a massive lexicon. So it's got a lot of vocab. It knows things. A 7 billion parameter. Think of a parameter as the neural connections or brain cells in the model. Vision, language, action model. This is the slow brain. It listens to you and looks at the room. If you say tidy the room, System 2 identifies the trash, the bed, and the pillows, and it sets the goal. It's chonking. That's what it's doing. But it's also listening to you. And the reason why it's called the slow brain is because it's not like the instinct or the reflex. It's actually like thinking through and listening to you. And, I need a little more of that in my life. I need some more parameters in my life. I need a little more System 2 in my life. The higher level reasoning. What else we got here? We have... Moving on to this point, bear with me, guys. I got it. It's all organized and under control. So at scale, I'm referring to a scaling figure. Very hard to do. It's got to be a flywheel effect, right? You got to get the flywheel turning. A flywheel is in your car, peeps. And you got to get it turning because these robots learn by observation, watching rather than hand coding, typing instructions. They can learn new tasks just by being placed in the Brookfield apartments. And what I mean by that is Figure partnered with Brookfield, one of the world's largest real estate owners, to put robots in 100,000 apartments. And they did that a few months ago. And, basically to get figures in apartments doing the things that you just saw. So they'll put like a master figure in there and then a student in there, and they'll go about and learn some things together. And, that's the thing, getting data for robots to learn off of these domestic situations and how to go about and, go out at the real world and navigate the real world. That's a tough thing. There's not a lot of data on that. So there's some companies are even renting out Airbnbs and putting their robots in there. So I think Sunday Robotics is doing that. But Brett's got that golden thumb, chum. He's like, we're going to do it this way because I can do it this way and this is the right way. And it's the right way to scale it. That's for sure. Doing this good partnership here. So every hour one robot spends learning, say in Georgia or New York, is uploaded to a large model, meaning once one robot figures out how to handle a specific type of laundry bin, every figure robot in the world gets that mental update instantly. That's that hive mind. It updates to Helix, to the BotQ factory where the Helix brain lives. No other company has shown this level of collaborative real-world autonomy in a messy, unscripted environment. And that's just mind freaking blowing, guys. And when I talk about parameters, I want to be sure that we know about those. Just real quickly here, a parameter. I'm talking these policies and how System 1 might have like an 80 million parameter for visuomotor policy, or System 2 has a 7 billion parameter for vision language action model. So we're talking about here before training, a parameter. Bear with me. It's like I see it as like a pinball machine. So basically, a robot has, like, you have all of these, it's like a switchboard. You have all these switchboards, and that when the model is trained, the parameters are set. So it dials or whatever. So the model's being trained, and then it's like, okay, I see a green thing. Okay, is that a green helmet? I don't know. Let's turn this parameter. Nope. I think that's actually a turtle. Oh, is that a shell? Let me turn this parameter. So the more parameters a model has, essentially the smarter it will be. Now, I think that idea is actually changing. But for now, a model that has a lot of parameters is extremely impressive. But the thing is, the thing about parameters is there's an old world model with parameters, meaning, and parameters is like let me just be clear, like everything that like I said, like everything the robot is learning from. So there's like, you know, oh, this is the color green. There's a parameter for that. This is a military helmet. There's a parameter for that. This is like, it's like everything, you know, things in the world. There's all these little switchboards for it. And then, so once the parameters are set and the robot goes out in the world and starts using inference, when that means it's like thinking through things, creating tokens and creating vectors, is going to these parameters. I think of it like a pinball machine where it boink, you know, the pinball goes boink, and then it goes into the pinball machine and it's hitting all of the little latches. And I think of that as like it's hitting all the parameters, trying to think through the situation. Now there's something called, that's the traditional dense model. Is every single signal has to bounce off of every single parameter in the entire machine. And that takes a lot of time and energy. So there's a new model that Figure uses. It's called a sparse mixture of expert model. And basically the data hits a router. So when Figure starts thinking through something like doing a bed, instead of the little ball pink and went into the pinball machine, instead of that hitting all of the parameters, it hits a router, and the router's like, oh, you trying to make a bed? And then it goes to the bed making specialist cluster, and then it just hits that little cluster of parameters instead of going through like all 7 billion parameters. So that's basically, in a nutshell, a parameter. That's what's going on there. What else is happening? Let's see. Oh, this is Brett. He put this video out. I think like a couple weeks ago. It's like I don't have any sense of time with this because things come out so fast, and then or I'll feel like something came out a few months ago, a few weeks ago, and it was actually like last year, and vice versa. It's just wild, man. So anyway, we got he made the reference. All right, guys, take a look at this. It's hilarious. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, that's dystopic," but I think it's great. That's it. So we got a little figure peeping out from in back of standing in back of a whole row of figures. Kind of looks like a military thing. You got whole rows of figure robots, and then you got the little robot back there. He's beaking his head out like, "Yo, what's up?" And then he started running. And I think he's just either, you know, he's running just to get some exercise, or probably his Apple Watch was like, you've been you just been standing there not doing anything for too long. Stand up, move your body, get your limber up. So it got zapped and it had to go move. And I think that's what happened to it. But Brett, they made the reference. You know what reference I'm talking about, guys. Come on, iRobot. There it is. Okay, and then we have one more video here. This is silly. I didn't do any research on this video. So we have the robots are preparing. So we have a floor with a bunch of humanoids laid down on it. They're just kind of laid down, not in starfish, but they're just laid down. They're resting their bones. And then we have a little teeny tiny dude, a little robot humanoid standing up, and then another robot standing up next to him with like a red vest on. And I think, yeah. So the little robot there, he seems to be running the show. That's all I'm saying. And I think what's going on is little robot there, that's Napoleon. And Napoleon's, he's getting them all amped up. He's getting his robot army all amped up. He's like, we're going to the Battle of Waterloo. Let's go. And then, maybe the dude, maybe what's going on is like little dude definitely seems to be the one in charge. And he's like, we're going to go storm the beaches of Omaha. Go get on your pontoon boat. Here we go. He's just trying to amp him up like I'm doing. Like you're amping him up. You're getting everyone riled up. I'm going to take another sip of coffee here. Let's go, guys. Get some caffeine. Get caffeinated. The day is very young. The day is young, and we have these hours ahead of us. We have to get caffeinated. Caffeinated. 137-trimethylaminoxanthine. Let's go. What was that? That was like a grunt. But okay. Well, I think I'm gonna end the technology portion on that note. What was going on? Actually, I went out and I did some comedy last week, and that was fantastic. Loved it. And I wanted to get into a show, but it didn't work out. So improv seems to be a little bit. I am in an improv show this coming week, which is fantastic. Love it. And I just would like to see things pick up a little more instead of slowing down. So things have kind of been slowing down here, and I'm wanting to see more opportunities, more back-to-back comedy opportunities to perform. So send a little prayer up or a little good vibes of the universe for me. And same to you guys out there. I'm sending good energy, good vibes. And I hope you guys have a productive week. And remember, the universe rewards motion. So instead of taking that nap, go ahead and drink your coffee, that 137-trimethylaminoxanthine. Go ahead and get caffeinated and go do some motion in the universe, and the universe will reward you. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.